this is something that I hear from a lot of trainers, and I can understand the frustration, which is like people say, I want clients who are going to do the work, right? And like they kind of get a little bit resentful in a way of like they've worked with people, they didn't put in the work, they didn't, they didn't get the results they wanted. So this is twofold. First and foremost, what it's important to separate out, not to go on a tangent here, but I'm going to anyway.
No,
Not that, not that, I think one of the most important things is like to really separate out like what are your goals that you would like to see the dog accomplish, and then what are their goals, right? Because those two things are typically very different. And all these amazing things that dogs are capable of, and you may be looking at the breed or the type of dog or, just the individual dog they have, and you're like, man, this dog is amazing. This dog can do, a lot of different things, but they just don't care about that. So what's really important is setting the correct expectations for yourself and aligning them with like what your client's expectations actually are. So you don't go like, I'm failing. Because that's what you can start thinking to yourself is like, this dog didn't get to where I wanted them to be, and so I failed. It's like, no, they're actually, the owners are actually very happy. And that's the more important thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then second to that, I think like what you're talking about of like incorporating training into your everyday lifestyle is so much more realistic for these people than being like, you need to block out an hour a day. Like no one's doing that. Just nobody is doing that. They may do it for one day and then they totally fall off. Yep. So it's like, tell them like 5 minutes. Yep. And then if they do 1 minute, it's still better than nothing. You know what I mean? Like that's what I've realized talking to enough trainers is that if you give people homework and they, in total over a 7-day period before you do that next lesson, over those 7 days, do 8 minutes of training, it's still so much better than having them just do nothing at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's super powerful stuff.
Yeah, dude. And kind of how you said, like how so many trainers they'll get upset and be like, oh, they're not doing anything. And like, so my thing would be like, I would try to take as much responsibility as I could and think like, okay, well, am I asking too much? Is that, like what different approach could I make? Because obviously if they're not doing the homework or they're not doing the things that you suggested that they do, then I, as the trainer, have to figure out a way to make it to where it is easier for them to want to do it.
Yes.
Like, okay, maybe they are lazy and they're not doing the stuff. And it's like, but that's out of your control. You have no control. Like, what can you control is like how to make it just easier, how to make it to where it's so hard to mess up that they're going to not, like it's, you got to take you got to take some of that responsibility. Cause that's one of my biggest pet peeves is when I go on the internet, on Instagram, and I see dog trainers talking about regular pet owners like they're idiots, like like stupid for not knowing the things that as a dog trainer that you've spent like however many years studying and doing every single day. Like it drives me nuts. Like people like they make videos of like, oh, some random lady let their dog come up to your dog and it's just like, oh, what an idiot. And it's like, no,
they don't know.
They don't know exactly.
I know, man. It's so true, dude. So I mean, I think that's really well said as well. It's like taking responsibility for yourself, and this is your business, these are your clients. And another way to look at this is like, yes, you're a dog trainer, but really what you are, especially when you're doing private training and boarding and training as well, is like you're a coach. And you're coaching the human being on how to have a better relationship with their dog. So a really good coach doesn't just throw their hands up in the air and go, they didn't do the work, and I got to get better clients who do the work. If you continuously find yourself saying like, I need clients who do the work, then what you really need to do is audit yourself and go, maybe there's things I need to be doing to get them to do the work or help them to do the work. And a big part of that is accountability, right? Like what kind of accountability structure do you have in place in your business? Like, do you have people checking in with you? Do you have like, I know people that do this. They're like, hey, you need to send me just a picture of your dog training or a 30-second video of you and your dog training. And they don't even watch it. But as long as they saw like the notification come in, like they're actually doing what they're supposed to do. And that's going to result in such a better experience for yourself and for the client.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. That's good. And I think sometimes too, like I'll send videos. So like if someone's having a hard time, I had a client recently that was just having a really hard time with like something simple. And I was like, okay, well, I have a puppy at my house that I'm doing the same thing with. I'll send you some video of me doing it. And And, you know, that I think even just doing that, like sending a video where they can watch it and just kind of have a little reminder, like, okay, yeah, let's try to do it like this again. Like,
totally do.
I definitely think that like those little reminders or kind of weekly checkups. Hey, how's it going? You know, I try to do that as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.